Welcome to the TaxMinds Software Academy. Today, we are going to go over how to amend a client's accepted e-filed individual tax return, basically called a 1040X. So, amended tax returns are basically when you have to do any changes. Maybe you miss some important information or need to change certain information that is not entirely correct. So we're going to go over how to do an amendment using our tax software. So let's get started. So here we are on our demo version of our TaxMinds taxware system, right? So what we're first going to do, let's say if we have filed a tax already for either this year or the previous year, and the client wants to make an adjustment or amended a revision to their tax return, which is called an amendment. So what we're going to do is go to the return list. Now here, we're going to find the name of the person. You can either find it here using their names or whatever information or their social to look for the client name. And then what you're going to do is here on this section, actions. Let's say, for example, we want to focus on Sarah Singleton. We want to focus on her and do an amended return. So let's say, for example, we're going to here on this actions on this little toolbox. So we have submitted let's say, for example, we submitted her tax return, it was accepted and everything, but she missed to include a 1099 or a W-2. So what we're going to do is here, the already filed and accepted tax return, we're going to hit copy. So now, as you can see, we have the original copy that it says here that was already submitted to the IRS. And then we have the copy here, which we just made. Now, since this one was already accepted with the IRS, we are actually focusing on the copy of the return to do an amendment and revision of it. So we're going to open it. And in this form here, we're going to select that this is going to be an amended return, right? So what we want to do here is add the 1040X for amended individual income tax, okay? So it's automatically going to bring us here to the 1040X. You're going to put in which the calendar year is. So you're going to put in the calendar year for. Everything in yellow is basically her information that's on the 1040, like her name, her social, and the address. Her filing status is also going to be here. Now, if you do need to amend, let's say, for example, she told you she was single, but she's really married and just getting a divorce, but she's still technically married and she needs to change her filing status to married filing separately, then you must select it here. But if you checked the married filing single box, and you must enter the name of your spouse right here. And also, if you're not changing your filing status, you are need to also make sure that you submitting if you're still submitting it as single or if you're changing your status. There may be a situation where if you're going from one type to a different type, that they may ask you to mail in your tax return, depending on the situation, but the system will let you know. But let's say, for example, if she's single and we're still filing single, we can still submit it electronically. And here you will see where it says the income and deductions. It'll show you how much it was submitted on the original return, right? So everything here you do not touch because this is the original amount where the original return was submitted and accepted by the IRS. Now, before we continue, we're going to save it. And now, since we already have the 1040X activated, now we're going to submit any changes that need to be made on this client, right? So let's say, for example, she missed to include a 1099 non-employee compensation. Let's say, for example, we're adding a 1099 and Let's put in a random taxpayer. I'm gonna say it's Uber Technologies, address 123 Way. And then her information is still there. And then we're going to put that her employee compensation was 1,172. So we're going to go back to the 1040X. If that's all the changes, then that's all the change. But if you have any other changes, you just make everything, right? But you first must activate the 1040X first, right? So then now we're going to go back here and you're going to see that the income and deduction section here is the original amount. This is what we changed. So here, nothing changed. This changed. So it'll automatically calculate what's changed. And then this section, this last section here, it'll show what is the corrected value from the changes that we made. Now, based on the changes that we made, she was overpaid. She was overpaid, and now she has to owe $326, just like it says here, because she was refunded in an amount, but because of the fact that she received additional income that she didn't pay taxes on, now it had to be deducted from that amount that was originally given to her. So now this is the amount that she owes, which is 326, which shows right here in red that she also owes now. And now it's going to ask, how do you want to pay it? Do you want it to be electronically withdrawal from your account? If so, then we select here and put in the account number and the type. Or if it was the other case where she would actually get a refund, additional refund for her taxes, then you would select this. Or however, if she has this balance due, she doesn't want to be deducted directly from her bank account. She wants to handle it whenever the taxes get processed, and she'll get a letter asking her for payment or pay through the irs.gov website. Then we can select this here and let her handle it later on. So once you select the appropriate boxes here, you see, and you select everything here, you must provide an explanation of why you are amending the return. Why are you submitting changes? What are the changes that you are submitting and why? So basically, you would put here, client miss to include 1099 NEC. It's now included in the amended tax return. Whatever the explanation is, you would type it right here. So once you put that in, you can see that the 1040X no longer has a red mark. It has a green mark now. And now you're able to submit this electronically to the IRS with the amended version to replace the original version of the taxes that were previously submitted. And that is how you amend a tax return in our TaxMinds software.